Road and Bridge. Okay. Fuel and lubricants. That's 025.541.201. They're decreasing that in their budget by $80,000. The original budget was $400,000. Their new budget will be $320,000. Their shop supplies and welding, 025.541.203. They are decreasing that budget by $10,000. It was originally $25,000. It is now $15,000. Their culverts and pipe, 025.541.205. They are decreasing it by $25,000, and their original budget was $40,000. It is now $15,000. Bridge construction and repair, 025.541.216. It's decreasing the budget amount there by $80,000. It was $100,000. They're decreasing it to $20,000. Equipment and repairs, 025.541.376. They're decreasing the budget amount there by $100,000, and it was $200,000. It is now $100,000. Calcium chloride is 025.541.378. They're decreasing the budget amount by $5,000. It was $25,000. It is now $20,000. Asphalt, 025.541.377. They're increasing their budget amount by $461,908. Their original amount was $645,744. Their new budgeted amount will be $1,107,652. Their next one is overtime, 025.541.412. They're increasing the budget amount by $5,000. Their original amount was $25,000, and their new amount will be $30,000. Their equipment purchases, 025.541.550. They're increasing it by $435,282. Their original amount was $300,000. Their new amount will be $735,282. Rental, 025.541.225. They're decreasing the revenue there. It was originally $50,000, or by $50,000. Their original amount was $200,000, and it is now $150,000. Their total impact on that would be an increase of $552,190 that will need to come out of their reserve.
Questions?
Yes. This $550,000 is above the budget that was set in January of 2010.
Correct.
And this $550,000 has already been spent by the Lincoln County Commission for the dump truck and asphalt?
No.
So of this $550,000 increase, how much will be going into the revenue fund for Road and Bridge versus already been expensed by Road and Bridge to cover bills to this date?
Yeah, that.
The figure, I'm sorry, say that again, John.
The figure to date, how much of that $550,000 increase is going to be utilized to cover expenses? I know to this date, because I know that the commission last month recalled, 3 checks for a total of almost $400,000?
300 and something.
Okay, and then we still have the dump truck for $150 minus the trade-in value that hasn't been paid for nor was budgeted in 2010?
The trucks are not just a truck. These are trucks that some of them we've had.
One truck, right?
We had discussed at that time as far as doing
Right.
lease purchase.
Right, yeah.
That's why it wasn't budgeted.
We were doing lease purchases like we had on the previous trucks, and they made the decision to pay off all those trucks.
Well, the purchase order I obtained here last month was from January 2010, even as of last month was unsigned.
Correct.
And it was explained to me that the truck was already on order, already being modified for delivery to the county, and per the commissioners stated that it would be delivered in the month of November. Correct?
Correct.
And it's gonna be lease purchase? You said you were gonna, last month you were gonna pay in full for this total amount, now it's a lease purchase?
No, it is not. We're gonna pay for it in full, along with the other trucks that we have a lease purchase on also. When you do a lease purchase on this truck here, it would not be in this fiscal year's budget, because the first payment would not be until next year at the time we take possession.
So
of the
we're gonna
truck.
pay for it in November.
Correct.
And so my question was, the $400,000 that was almost $400,000 that was recalled in payments for services or materials already received by the county last month will be covered by this increase of $550,000 plus the cost of the dump truck that's on order and pending delivery in November.
Part of that.
Okay, that's my question.
Well, most of it though, John, some of this, we moved $350,000 where we took away from other revenue sources and took from those accounts, which is really covering that asphalt that you're talking about.
But this is a net increase to the road and bridge out of a fund that I understand can only be utilized in reserve for road and bridge. But this is a net increase in the calendar year 2010 to the road and bridge department's account of a $500,000 and almost $50,000 increase.
Yes, you're right.
Where is that fiscally conservative in holding us in reserve for the next 2 years to make it through the hard times?
Well, into the next operating year, it holds us right at about, well, today, $1.9 million in our reserves of road and bridge.
I hope we can make it.
We do too. We will.
Okay. That's the point I wanted to
The
make.
whole reasoning behind this is the fact that we had several trucks that were on lease purchase, and with a change of government here as far as new presiding commissioner, we are going to go ahead and pay off the lease purchase that are in place today, pay them off, as well as by moving this other monies around from line item to line item, that allowed us to fill in some gaps because of the maintenance cost on maintaining gaps in county roads. It allowed us to go ahead and fill them gaps in, and therefore, at the end of this fiscal year, we estimate that we'll still run right at about $1.1 million in reserves of road and bridge.
It could be
This year, we started the year with right at about $750,000 in reserves. We have to credit the holdings, the savings of the county to our road and bridge department because of the fact that they have watched costs extremely close this whole year to be able to build that kind of reserve up today, enable us to be able to pay off equipment and fill in these gaps to save us money in the future. That's why we're amending the budget today for this.
Understand that, but at a stroke of a pen on October 26th, this commission is increasing the road and bridge budget by $550,000, which is $200,000 more than the commission gave the sheriff's department to operate his budget I'm just saying, which basically puts our law enforcement protection on the street for 24/7, 365 days a year. But at one stroke of the pen, the commission can basically ignore their budget and increase it by $550,000. Where is that a sound business practice or even a sound government decision in these times?
Mr. Hunt, that's another subject. This is what we feel is best for our road and bridge department, as well as the constituents of the county. That's why we're doing this. We have the money there to take the county out of the lease purchase of the equipment for our new presiding commissioner coming in January the 1st, with a considerable amount in reserves also.
$1.1 million.
Exactly. And possibly more. So, any other comment?
I just have one short one. Is that the reserves for road and bridge only? Is that where
Yes.
it's coming from? Okay.
Exactly.
Because the lease purchase, I have a lease purchase from 08 yet that I'm still paying for. Before I got here, that's why I
Right.
wanted to make sure.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Bryan, on this $150,000